Welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. We're continuing watching the Alligator Loki show. Oh, sorry, the Loki show. It's episode 5, Journey into Mystery. This is your host, Trevor, and joining me as usual is...
Hey guys, it's Prague.
I've been stuck for 25 years playing Polybius. This is DeLorean Wolfgang.
Classic.
Oh, wait.
Classic
I
Alex.
just interrupted you.
Oh, it's perfect. Classic Alex.
Sorry, that was classic Alex.
I mean, what do you expect? I'm here today, I showed up, so
I
don't
hear
like,
Prague's name. I'm so sorry.
It's
hey, introduce yourself there, friend.
Oh, me? My name is Josh. Remember me from the first episodes of Secondary Heroes? I'm back.
Right. You pruned a while ago. It's good to see you back.
And then I brought somebody with me, my wife Kelsey. You can introduce you, say hi.
Hello.
There you go. Good job.
Hi, Kelsey. Welcome to the Secondary Heroes. I am terribly sorry. I heard Prague's name, and then I was like, I immediately went into...
kicks in.
Yep. My tunnel vision happened, and I just started blurting out whatever my BS I said.
Got in. So that's okay.
So now,
well,
is this a variant of one of us, or not? A female variant of a secondary hero, possibly?
Until the end of time. Until death do us part. Huh? So, Kelsey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well,
Fandoms? What do you got?
Yeah, what kind of
I like Harry Potter. Clearly.
Nice.
That's my favorite thing. I'm kind of the everyday watcher when it comes to shows, so I don't go as deep as you guys do and notice all the little Easter eggs and details until I get to Google or your podcast.
Oh,
Nice.
Awesome.
Not
That's
just a guest,
recommendation
but a
plus...
listener.
Yes.
All right, guys, let's talk about the new episode of Loki.
Should we? We're starting with no spoilers, friends, because that's how
Yeah,
we
so-
do here with the Secondary Heroes.
I'll start with no spoilers just to kind of set the tone.
Okay.
I would say that now I've been holding off on this take for a while, but now that 5 episodes in, I would say this isn't just the best Marvel show. I would say this is at least top 10 Marvel things, maybe top 5.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness! I just got goosebumps listening to that.
That's
And this
a
episode
take.
was
Wow.
outstanding. They're really nailing every single aspect, whether it's the cinematography, character development, story-driven dialogue, and now just expanding out the whole Marvel universe and what Marvel can be. It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm so
Very
excited what comes
well-
in the finale.
I know.
Right?
Well, it's got to make you sad at this point, knowing that it's going to end.
No,
No,
I'm used to short shows that are really good.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
watched those short shits. We're used to it. It's all good.
Frog, you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as him. I think watching that third act of this episode, I'm like, this is it. This is one of the best things I've seen Marvel ever do. Like, the whole episode is so intelligently written, and there's so many funny strays, and it's so, like, just over the top. It's great. The character development was phenomenal. Like, they are able to develop characters in such a short amount of time in episodes that you actually care for them in a single episode. It's phenomenal. And it might have something to do with Kevin Feige saying they're no longer going to be doing those long-term contracts for picture deals, because like they're so good now, they can create a character at whim and just kill them if they wanted to, and it would be like the best thing ever. It'd be like everyone would be obsessed with it, and it'd be like fan art everywhere. So yeah, this episode was great. I think this is probably my favorite of the show so far. It's very much the most Rick and Morty.
So I'll jump off that as well. It was my favorite as well out of the entire series. It was a good episode. I wouldn't say that the dialogue was perfect. There was a couple times where I was like, ooh, that was a bit of a clunker that didn't really fit in with the rest of everything else. But for the most part, everything else was fairly solid. This was a fun episode that it's a great roller coaster ride. That's the way I looked at it. And it almost even gave me like Ready Player One vibes. Like I wanted to pause like maybe every 5 seconds. I wanted to pause just to soak in everything that I was looking at and kind of take in the details, because there were there were little things
Everywhere.
all over the place, everywhere. It was insane.
I like your analogy. It is like Ready Player One in a lot of ways, actually.
Yeah.
Just for the Marvel Universe, though. Like, instead of having just everything and all the video games and nostalgia, it's, specific to the Marvel comic book and cinematic universe. I like it.
Yeah. Very fun stuff. Cool.
All right,
Josh and Kelsey.
I mean, I've enjoyed this show tremendously. I agree with Trevor. This is best stuff that Marvel's ever made. Like I said, I would agree. Top 5, just cinematic wise, it's so beautiful. I enjoy everything that they're doing with that. I mean, I always refer back to Alex saying it's look at all the pretty colors. It has that. It has
a lot of pretty colors.
And,
the purples and greens.
For me, I was thinking about it today, preparing, is that I was never really a huge fan of Loki, but now that we focus on Loki so much, I've grown to really like him, to put maybe in some of my favorite Marvel cinematic characters,
I agree.
And
that happened to me as well.
just to be able to understand his character a lot more, it's amazing. And then this past episode 5, just the different scenarios that they've presented to us, not to go too deep into it right now, but that they present to us through the different variants, it was amazing. I enjoyed it. And I'm so eager to see this last episode, and then beyond that, what they're going to do for season 2. If there's a season 2, I don't know.
If there is, yeah. All right.
Cool. And Kelsey.
Kelsey hated it,
All
huh?
right.
All right.
Guys, I like seeing the character in more depth as far as understanding him and just seeing him as an individual, like out of the element of Thor and the Avengers, just kind of seeing him on his own to see more about him and why he is the way he is. So I really like the character development a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the most solid point of this show is the character development.
Yeah.
They handled it really well.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
cool, guys. We should do our socials.
Socials, that's where I come in. Hey, check us out over at crossthestreamsmedia.com for links to all of our social medias, which is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Sorry, I ran out of breath right there. You can also listen to every one of our episodes on that site, and you can leave us a review. You can also leave us a voicemail. Those are very fun to listen to because we get to hear your points, your
hot takes.
I don't know, your hot takes. That's what we really want. We want more of your hot takes more than anything else. And while you're over on crossthestreamsmedia.com, make sure to check out some of our other sister podcasts, like the Movie Gap, 3 Beers and a Mic, the Dan Aykroyd podcast, the Four Dorksmen, and there's so many more. Like I said, every week they're adding more and more, which is awesome. So check that out over on crossthestreamsmedia.com. But if you don't want to go there, you can find us at all the social media networks at Secondary Heroes. And we're on YouTube, which you can watch us and see our beautiful faces over on YouTube. And while you're there, make sure to hit that like button and throw a comment down there. Hit the like, bell, subscribe, all the above, because all of this is free for you, but it's priceless to us.
Well said.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Good job, Alex.
Thanks.
Yes.
I'm getting better at those, I think.
You are.
I don't know. That one was solid.
Just a quick editor's note that the Four
Oh,
Dorksmen are now
no.
known as the Dorksmen. So if you're looking them up,
right.
they are just the Dorksmen now.
That's true. That just recently happened. Good for them.
Just happened. Yeah. No more four.
Cool. All right, I just changed my notes.
SECOND.
What's a hot take?
Oh, Trevor, you should tell her what a hot take
Trevor
is.
will show you a hot take.
Oh no.
Trevor's got a
That's the
few.
question.
No, it's a great question.
Hot takes are difficult. My hot take is probably different. Most people's hot take would be say something outlandish so people respond to you on Twitter because you're lonely and you need that social interaction. My hot take, though, would be more well-sourced and not just necessarily driven for reaction. I just have very strong opinions that form themselves into things that are relatively controversial.
They go counter to culture, That's great.
Yeah.
They're fun.
That's fantastic. Well, cool. Let's jump into the show. We all have already said what we think. where should we just lead off here?
I think we start with the biggest, best thing ever, which is Alligator Loki, because he does not have a line in the show,
No,
but
he's great.
somehow they pan to his face every single time,
Every time.
in
So
every
mu-
situation, and it made me laugh every time. It didn't matter.
No.
They always
I
pan to
never
his
laugh
face.
out loud ever. Like I'm not a person that usually laughs out loud too often. I laughed out loud every time they pan to his face and he does that whole little like eye blink thing.
He was so good.
Well, and he
the
he
baby
conveyed
Yoda?
so much emotion.
Is he the
Oh,
baby Yoda of Loki now, or what?
Oh, yeah.
He might be better because
That-
Mandalorian purposefully like nuked Baby Yoda in season 2.
Yeah, they really did.
I liked him. He was-
Well, of course. Who doesn't like Baby Baby Loki? Hey, that's
Baby Loki.
season
That's a
2,
different
baby. I'm writing it for you, Disney.
Hey, how the show's going? There might be a baby Loki in the future.
True. It's
Um,
true.
There's a hot take coming up there. That's that later near the end of the episode.
But even to that point that Loki says, and there's an alligator, and you know, at this point, I don't even find that all that strange.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a well-written line. I know not all the dialogue was perfect this episode, but that line was great. Whoever wrote that.
Yes.
Yes.
Fun part.
So yeah, and here's something that I thought was pretty cool and creative is the fact that every Loki is so significantly different. Like there really isn't two alike Lokis. I think maybe the leader of the rebellion Lokis and Tom Middleton.
Tom Middleton. We'll go with that. He's related to Kate Middleton.
That's
One of
hilarious.
those Toms. It's a Tom
That's
and a
close.
middle something.
Tom
Yeah.
World.
But I think those were the only two that were roughly similar. But for the most part, they're all so extremely different, which I liked. I like it almost makes me think I want to see more of that guy's backstory. I want to know what's going on and how that person got to this point type of thing.
Well, that's the tough kind of enigma with this episode, because there's a very fine line between what a variant is and what an actual multiverse creation is. And like Alligator Loki doesn't make any sense, because like young Loki, he has a different pathway because he killed Thor, so they prune him and they fix the timeline. Then there's old Loki, who rather than getting killed by Thanos, decides to just be a piece of space debris, and then he goes and lives in isolation. So those are two distinct timeline pathways. But Alligator Loki is an actual multiverse creation. A lot of these Lokis that look completely different, there's not a time where he becomes an alligator and they prune that existence.
See, so I was saying this last week. I think it was last week where I was saying that this is kind of a multiverse type of thing. There isn't one true timeline if there's different Lokis out there. That's what I was trying to get at last week.
No,
Remember
you're right.
that? Okay.
Yeah,
No, you're
it,
right.
it just depends on how and who you look at.
Right.
And how they decide to explain it in the end when they do the whole multiverse of madness.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we'll see how they tie this all together and have it make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's fun. It's fun to see them all
Planting
together
the
on the screen.
seeds.
Sowing the seeds of love.
So let's talk about something that maybe bothered us about this episode. And I have one that bothers me just about like our Loki in our timeline.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know why this bothers me, but every time Tom Middleton, am I saying this right?
Hiddleston.
Middleston. Okay.
No,
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston with an H.
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Hiddleston, Enchantress, Hiddleston, it's all the same. thing.
I forgot about that.
Maybe I'm in my own timeline here. My own.
It's a
multi-universe.
different Tom Middleton. He stars
This is
in
a
Loki.
Bears type of situation right
Ooh,
now.
it's the Mandela effect. I like
Mandela effect, yeah. So every time that this guy gets knocked down and he gets back up, he does this over exaggerated hair flip, and it drives me nuts because he never needs to do it, but he does it every
It's who he is.
time.
That's his character. He's dramatic. He's
But it's-
overly dramatic. That's his character. That's who he is. That's who Loki is.
It's
If you had that long hair, you would probably do the same thing.
Oh, I used to. It was great.
He's-
Every time I
he's-
stand up, I'd be like, whoosh.
no, because His hair is always slicked back, no matter what. It's always slicked back, just like yours. There's no way his hair is in his face in any way possible. So that's my only gripe with it all.
I'll allow it.
Is another
It's
thing.
crepe. That's my
I have
only
some-
crepe.
That's my only crepe. It's a French.
We're serving them for breakfast.
We're serving
hot
breakfast for dinner. Oh,
Dinner, baby.
that was
All right. I'm done with my stuff that I don't like.
It's good
So
to know that's
okay.
the only issue you have with the episode.
seriously, I mean, I had other issues, but that was the main thing that bothered me because I kept seeing it, and I'm like, now that I brought it up to everybody else, I think everybody else is now gonna see it. I broke the glass on that one. How I Met Your Mother take her.
I think I'll go next. Like, so one of the things that I didn't really care for is the stuff that like kind of paused the momentum of the episode. Like, I'd rather have them just be in the void the whole time.
Yes.
Besides missed minutes, I didn't care about anything that happened back at the TVA at all. Like, it would just dragged. I'm like, I don't need you to talk to CB815 or whatever her name is about why Sylvie's doing. You know why she's doing this. Like, what
Mhm.
is this? Like, just get back to the void. I want to see all the cool stuff.
Totally.
But at least they had Miss Minutes in there a few times. That was a lot of fun
Mhm.
to see Miss Minutes.
Mhm.
So I was like, all right, I'll allow that. But still, it went on too long. And my only other complaint was that the whole awkward love fest
Mhm.
that the two Lokis had together was kind of dragged on a bit too long. It was kind of like, yeah, we get it. You're awkward. I get it. But you just kept going. It was cute.
Yeah.
It was fun. But it was just a tad bit too long. That's all. It's like, yeah, we all get it. Just kiss and, get it over with.
Get over with.
Well, from a female perspective, I don't think it was that long.
Touche.
That's why we need you on the show.
All these female variants are scary. Jesus.
It's nice to see the romance in Loki.
Or, no, I'm not saying that. It's just, it was like I get the point that they were both kind of awkward. It just kind of went on
Yeah.
for a while.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
you
nice
wanted
to
all
see-
the action stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to see the romance now. Like, if
Yeah.
we saw this type of romance within episode 1 or 2, where we still look at Loki like the same Loki that's kind of, a prick, then we wouldn't care. Like, now we've seen him beaten down. We've seen him vulnerable. And now he's
Yeah.
like feeling this whole new thing of love. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. No, I enjoyed the
Yeah.
scene. I just said
It seems
I
like
thought the
once he
awkward-
kind of found himself and was confident with himself, then he was kind of open to that. So
Josh,
Well
Mhm.
said.
once you found yourself and you're confident
Yeah,
with yourself,
exactly.
find
It's like
love.
the words that came out of my mouth to her.
Did you conjure her a blanket as well?
Yeah, I did.
no,
No.
you bought one.
You can either conjure it or you can target it. Either way.
It's similar.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
very, oh my God.
Amazon.
How about you, Trevor?
I think the only part was just the open. I didn't need the unnecessarily upside down spinning camera through the TV.
Nope.
I was like, what this? It's not like we're going to the upside down. It's a whole different void. Isn't like it's just the parallel alternate universe kind of thing. So it didn't seem to have a place.
Yeah, I know some people really liked that, and I didn't care for it much either. I
It
kind of
just
get the
didn't fit
idea.
with this show.
It didn't. No, it was a little too much, a little too over the top, and just spun for too long. So, anyways, I do like the title of the episode too. It was kind of fun. The Journey into Mystery, because that's the
Magical
title.
Mystery Tour.
Loki and Thor, where they showed up for the first time. So I liked it.
Josh, got any gripes with it?
I probably would hang around like where Prog's saying. The love scene was a little too long for me. Sorry, but because for me, I just want to see what's gonna happen. Like, I understand. All right,
You've already done it for 2 episodes.
You already made it clear that he has feelings for her. So let's see what's gonna happen. But that's just me right there. I pretty much everything y'all said was little bits and pieces here. But other than that, I enjoyed it. Beyond that, so
Nice. And
That's
Kelsey.
I didn't like old Loki's underpants.
You didn't like his
uniform. I know it's supposed to be old school and the fabric it looks worn, but I just didn't like it. There's this scene where he's like projecting the what is it?
He uses his powers.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
will
don't know.
admit
That
It bothered me. When you watch it again, you will see what moment I'm talking about.
Well, I know what you're talking about.
She's probably saying that because today's a laundry day. We need to wash. So.
Yeah, that's you.
Well, I will. Jumping back to that scene, yeah, I will admit the graphics on Old Man Loki's hands were not very good. If you go back and watch it, it's almost like whoever was keyframing the graphics, it almost didn't like fit right. It didn't track with his hands, and it just didn't like look that great. Like, in compared to what he was doing, everything he was doing looked phenomenal. I mean, was that supposed to be Asgard that he created? Like, absolutely
gorgeous.
Or the Emerald
That's
City.
amazing.
Yeah, it was an Emerald City version of Asgard.
It looked
all
amazing.
green.
It looked so good. But right once they got a close up of his hands where he's like,
I think I was too distracted by the underpants.
Well, we know you already don't like when Wanda or Agatha are just
I don't
putting
like
their little hands around and the colors come out.
Doesn't like the
It's
wiggly
cheap.
woo.
It's cheap and it doesn't look good. Like, it just doesn't look good to me. But
Yeah.
that's just me.
No,
yeah.
I agree. It's always been cheap in all the shows, so
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me as much as you.
It just bothers me.
That's
Like, I was watching that scene and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then they showed a close up of him and I'm like, and it's ruined.
And done. Now
Way
I'm
to
mad.
go on the budget there.
No, on the other end of that spectrum, I absolutely loved the oversized overpants because I thought it was hilarious. I mean, it was
As
all
an
to your point,
elderly.
Kelsey, but oh my god, it was hilarious to see Richard Grant,
Yeah.
this like
Well, you know,
great
it's-
British actor, doing this stuff. It's hilarious.
Well, it was interesting. Richard Grant posted on his Instagram how he was glad that they were able to tie Kermit the Frog into Loki, because he showed him without his helmet. And his I guess his little neck piece looks like Kermit the Frog's.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look that
Yeah,
up. That's funny.
totally. I was wondering, but it almost, to me, it looked like a jester, but I could totally see the Kermit the Frog. Definitely.
Mhm.
Kermit
Yes.
the Frog here.
Very nice. All right, let's go through this episode a little bit.
Cool.
Any
Well,
favorite moments? What do you think,
I
Trevor?
think I want to start with the best Easter egg of it, which is the
There's a
Thanos
lot.
copter.
Yes.
The
thank
Thanos
you,
copter
Trevor.
was by far and away the best, just because it fits in with the whole idea of it existing, but they pruned it from the timeline. So
Yeah,
it
like, this is
shows,
ridiculous.
yes, this comic existed, but we're pruned it from the timeline. We sent it to the void.
That's
Yeah.
what it's for. I totally forgot about that comic where Thanos was in the helicopter.
As
I mean,
soon
they
as I
can do
said that, I
so much
yelled.
now. Across
Yeah.
every movie, they can just say, "Oh, it's in the void."
Mhm.
Yeah.
No matter what, now they can throw
It's here.
everything into the void.
Hold on. You can retcon everything, and it's great.
Everything.
That's so funny.
It was a junkyard for everything.
Yeah, it's
Thanos copter is a classic.
That definitely makes the helicopters so much better to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what made this my favorite episode. Is the fact
Well,
that they show the Thanos copter and they reference Thanos quite a bit in it.
Did
Yeah.
quite
Well,
a bit.
and
To me, I just want Thanos to show up now. I don't care if he's old Thanos, young Thanos, alligator
A
Thanos.
pruned baby Thanos that they went and
alligator
killed.
Thanos! Oh, he's so funny. He's trying to snap, but he can't because he has pudgy little fingers. Horrible.
love it.
Anyways.
I want to see a whole series all about alligator, Loki and Thanos. That'd be great.
But back
Trying to get the little gems for his little alligator paws.
what is everyone's favorite Easter egg? I like this,
Yeah.
Trevor. It's good.
There
talk.
was a lot of Easter
lot.
eggs in this episode.
any one is a favorite to you guys.
I thought Frog Thor was really fun.
Frog.
Throg.
Great.
Fuck Thor.
Frog Thor?
Yeah,
Thor?
Throg. He actually
Yeah.
shows up in the
Throg.
comics.
Yes.
Yeah, so him like bouncing around in the little jar, I don't know. There was something, I don't know, kind of special about it because it actually made me want to rewind that and see it over and over and over again. Because if you don't rewind it, it just looks like maybe just like a miniature Thor jumping
Yeah,
around
like
in
an
this,
Ant-Man Thor.
like an Ant-Man Thor, exactly. But when you rewind it and kind of slow motion that, you could see it's clearly Throg.
Frog Thor.
Yeah,
Frog.
it's
Is
funny.
Frog Thor from the alligator Loki timeline?
Oh, they could be like, yeah, interesting.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is fun.
Yes,
That would be a good show.
That's
They need
either
that
like
spin-off.
Peter Ham type thing.
yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
yes, but oh gosh, that's
Well,
fantastic.
This is opening up a whole new universe. That'd be cool.
Like it. I like it a lot.
Whole new universe. Okay, Josh, your favorites?
You know, well, besides the Thanos stuff, I enjoyed. I didn't make a big deal about it at first when Kid Loki was on his throne drinking a high
Oh,
C.
you took mine.
But then I looked into it a lot more. It was the Ghostbusters one.
It was
So I thought that was
Ecto
pretty cool.
Cooler. I know, and I'm like,
Yeah.
God, you're already my favorite character. Now you're gonna drink
Yeah.
Ecto Cooler?
Everybody ruined that for me online.
Oh, sorry. That was
Like
probably
I
me.
had, yep. One was you. The other one was Jimmy. He writes me. He
Oh, Prog's
texts
best
me
friend?
saying, "Huh,
Yep.
yeah, but easy on this, okay?" he texts me saying, "Oh my goodness, Kid Loki, he's drinking an Ecto Cooler," and I'm like, "Give me a break, dude. I haven't even watched the episode."
Awesome. What a good guy, that Jimmy.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Well, you took mine, so I have to think of something else. So, Kelsey, what about you?
It's supposed to be like a secret thing? Or
Well,
just a
it could be
favorite
anything.
moment?
Anything that you thought was kind of fun, because if you know, you might
Okay.
not know all the backstory.
Well, I
stuff.
just liked when Sylvie was very confident that she's like, I'm gonna, what's she gonna do? Curse it?
Enchant.
Enchant it? So Loki.
Yeah. Sorry, I had a whole episode where I couldn't pronounce words. So
How do you say enchant?
I'm trying to make sure I'm not on the Harry Potter
Enchantress.
world, so I have to like trip over.
Transcendentalism? What are we talking about? What's going on?
But yeah, I like how confident she was. That was pretty cool.
yeah,
Alright.
she's pretty awesome. I like her too.
Gosh, you guys took my
I-
favorite.
Dude, I have another one if you
No,
want to.
no, I have. I'm
Oh,
sure
again.
there's others. Shoot. No, those are my favorites though. Let me look at my notes real quick. You tell me one.
Okay, well, you're going. Okay, so Plebius. I mentioned that in the intro. Plebius is so fascinating to me because it is an urban legend that is actually very well known urban legend about an arcade game that people have seen and say that they've actually played and whatnot. And the fact that it makes an appearance in this episode was like, I definitely felt like Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV screen when that came up. I was like, oh my goodness, Plebius. People know about Plebius. Plebius is out there.
Yeah.
Because you know that people went online and started researching it. And it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I always like really liked. And it's never mentioned anywhere. And so it's cool that Plebius had its own timeline. And now it's in the void. So, and that's why you never know about it anymore. It's cool. So there's mine.
Very nice. I those were my favorites. I'm just gonna say I liked seeing the lunch trays everywhere. I thought it was a fun nod to all the pruned variants at the TVA getting pruned over the centuries.
Oh, interesting.
That's kind of fun.
Really thought of it that way.
Not as fun as your guys's, but you know.
I'm sorry, Bob.
You even went second too, didn't you?
Sorry.
It's okay.
That's why I went first. If I didn't have Thanos Cup, I didn't have much.
Well,
Well, I would have said like Stark Tower, but I mean, we talked about it.
oh,
Yeah.
but that is not Stark Tower, by the way.
I know. Well, it's what's his name? Nichols. What's his name? Something. Person that King the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror. It's his business that he took over
Yeah.
for Tony Stark. Probably during the blip, most likely.
Maybe.
Well, what did you guys think about Spider-Man's head?
Was that Spider-Man or was that the Yellow Jacket?
Is that supposed to be Yellow Jacket?
That looked exactly like Yellow Jacket's head to me.
It's
No, wait,
huge.
Yeah. Yeah, because he can get big and small too.
That's true.
That was his helmet. That wasn't Ant-Man's, but good call.
Yeah, it looked like Spider-Man to me. So whenever I saw that, I was like, "Oh, Spider-Man! He must have had a statue, and he got pruned for having a statue." But
something
now
with
I
a
zoom in on it.
statue?
Yeah, Cool.
I was just making sure I didn't miss the Spider-Man one as well. So
There's probably so many little Easter eggs in there that we missed so much.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah, just
But
get
it's
the
Like
so
you're saying stuff like I'm like I gotta go rewatch it again.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's so many little details that, like I was saying earlier in the non-spoilers, is the amount of details in this episode was insane that it would make a non-comic book reader want to look for this stuff out there.
Well, it's a
So,
testament to the Rick and Morty guys that like that's what they do with
Yeah.
Rick and Morty all the time too. It's like so detail oriented. Like I'm sure they were waiting for this episode for so long. Like finally we can just throw everything into this and have it be all crazy and weird and have this pocket universe. So it was
And so-
paid off.
What were those semicolon peacock things?
I don't know.
That's I was
Weird.
hoping they were gonna do something like they're gonna
I
all
know,
like
right?
join together to make like a mega something.
oh, that would be cool.
Well,
Yeah.
a mega peacock. They're like
Well,
shooting
when I-
balls.
When I saw that, my first thought was that those are the dodo birds.
They
that-
do the dodo birds, yeah.
I thought they were dodo birds for some reason.
That's
That
funny.
for some reason, I guess they needed to be pruned or whatever. But that was my first thought.
Well, they certainly did need to be pruned because they're
They
weird.
give it so much attention though too. Like when they would show them, they would like show them. So
Yes.
I'm assuming maybe next episode there's a purpose for them. I would hope
They made
because
it a
then
point. Sure.
So my guess is that it's more the Rick and Morty guy who wrote the episode. He loves crazy creatures. I think
Okay.
that he just wanted to make a
they show
weird
it off.
monster looking thing. Yeah, that's all. He was just showing off. This is my guess. It'd be great
What
if
do
they were something.
What did you guys think of the big bad, the big cloud monster?
The black
That's
smoke
not-
monster
That's
from
not the big
Lost?
bad though. That's not the big bad.
From Stranger
No,
Things.
In this episode, it's the big bad.
But it is a smoke monster to Trevor's credit. Which is
It
what I
is a
posted
smoke
on
monster,
Twitter.
of course.
I loved it. It was great. It was just like Aladdin. You know?
Yes.
Aladdin?
Have you
Yeah,
not
would
seen
you-
Aladdin? Sir?
When it comes
I've
out of the
definitely
sand.
seen-
Yeah.
Oh, go watch Aladdin. It's a great cartoon from the 90s. Anyway,
1992.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to. So in Aladdin, the sand monster is a big lion.
Lionhead, yes, in the sand with the purple eyes or green eyes or whatever the
Smoke
color.
monster looked nothing like a lion.
What are you
Sir.
talking?
Well,
When
that's
he-
not
did you
technically a
see-
lion, which is like it looks
Like a giant skull.
We're
It looked like an animal skull. Am I
Well, yes, it
taking crazy
does.
pills?
not saying it's exactly like it, Alex. Obviously, it reminded us of
A
that.
large creature of an element.
See?
basically. It's
Thank
not
you.
sand.
Right. There you go. But anyways, I loved it. It was great. I'd never heard of that character before, so obviously I had to look it up like everybody else. And now we all know who the big bad's going to be if you look up, who this
I
creature is.
did not.
Oh, then I will not say anything.
I was
Um,
fine with the life as is.
All right, but it's fun.
Because he's just a guard dog. He's just Cerberus. Don't need to bother.
Yeah.
But the neat detail about that character design is that he literally is smoke. So whoever is behind the curtain is literally behind the smoke screen. So that was a fun detail.
Mhm.
I liked it a
I
lot.
think this kind of came to the point where I was I was a little like you can't grab smoke.
You can touch it though. And it has tendrils. Like I was shooting them at them as they're like.
She doesn't
driving
have to grab it. She just has to.
touch
Because
it.
she's using her magic around it. So
Right.
essentially, you're just encompassing it. 'Cause
Yeah.
you can capture smoke in a bottle.
But when Loki said he was gonna go kill him, that's when I was like, it doesn't make
How?
sense.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's why I love that she came back at him like that's the dumbest thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
We're gonna do paper cut the cloud to death. Like
Well, that's like when he lists off his whole plan of what he's going to do to old Loki, boastful Loki. And as soon as he's done, it's like they're going to laugh at him. And
of course.
they laughed at him.
Laughed at
And
him,
cut
yeah.
to alligator Loki.
Yep, exactly.
Oh,
I like that old Loki can understand alligator Loki.
Yep. Normal man. But it
Well,
kind
and
of
alligator Loki jumps up and bites the dude's arm off.
The vote Loki, yeah.
It's
like-
like, funny scene. Yeah.
How like you? This is
I didn't
Marvel. You
expect it to
don't
happen.
think of that stuff. Yeah, that's not
I mean,
supposed.
Especially because they
His
pulled him
arm.
off last time when he went on boastful Loki.
Yeah, so you're like expecting them to do the same thing. He took his hand off. I'm like, oh my god.
So
He
good.
screamed like a girl. It was great.
That
Loved it a
Loki
lot.
sequence where they're all fighting and the main Loki is just dodging out of the way. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that was fun. The whole scene was fun. Like the whole they did get help, Kid Loki and Alligator Loki, because he threw Alligator Loki at him. That was fun. Just a little callback to Ragnarok. Yeah, God, that whole scene was fantastic with all the different Lokis in the room fighting each other.
And then it's in like a circus tent of all places because it was totally just. I mean, they could have played the Benny Hill music during that sequence.
I have a new TikTok. All right. No, I can see that as well. That was a lot of fun. I also like the fact that Kid Loki sat on Santa's throne. So that means Santa was pruned from a timeline.
Probably.
Interesting.
Oh, that's cool. I never even really thought about that. Well, and it's also very neat that they're all playing each other too. Like they are definitely all Lokis because they're all
They
sitting
don't
there.
trust any of them.
Yeah.
None of them are on anybody's team.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all for themselves type of thing, which is pretty funny. Yeah, cool.
And
So
then
where should we
one
get
of
to
the
next?
most interesting kind of overarching things, I didn't realize it till this episode was almost over, is that we had multiple movies to develop Loki into being an actual relative anti-hero good guy by the time Infinity War rolls around. He's still 2012 Loki that has come to that whole point in the course of 5 episodes. He's done the same exact character arc, and now he's that same Loki that audiences last left us with. But again, it's been 5 episodes rather than like 10 years and multiple movies. It's pretty
true.
impressive.
Yeah.
They did
Kudos to the writers.
absolutely. That's full on a writer's thing where, yeah, now I actually care about Loki because I never really cared for Loki, and I know that you had mentioned that earlier, Josh. That now you feel like you care about him, and I do too. Like wasn't expecting to. After watching some of the other shows, there was very little faith in this. You know what I mean? And then like as each episode came out, it's like the more and more I look forward to the next episode and look forward to spending more time with Loki. So
And you can see how authentic he is when he regroups with Mobius and Sylvie. You know, he's not faking actually truly being excited and thankful that they were alive and they were here.
No,
Right.
exactly. I mean, he ran to them. It was cute.
Yes. And they play the music and it's great
Like a little
score
kid.
executed.
Yep. Oh,
and
shout
it's
out
not
to the
like it
music.
was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to the music, but we can talk about that later.
No. Well, all I was gonna say is that he didn't do any kind of like overacting with that, like where breaking down into tears or anything like that. It felt genuine, which was perfect.
Yeah, and it felt new to him too. Like he didn't know what to do. He's like, he ran up to him. He's like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I hug you?
Right.
He was like awkward. It was kind of fun. It was cute.
Well, especially for a guy who Mobius is
the zombie
This is great.
vampire guy.
Love this, Alex.
I am so sorry. I've been working way too much lately. So for him and Mobius, and for him to want to actually give Mobius a hug and care about him deeply is very cool, because Mobius was like, dude, you suck.
Right.
But they still ended up developing this friendship, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, brothers don't shake hands, man. Brothers got a hug.
Brothers got a hug.
It was good to have Mobius back too.
Oh my
the
god,
pizza,
I love Mobius.
the pizza truck. As soon as I saw the pizza truck, I'm like, oh, Mobius.
Mobius, of course.
But it's just good to have him back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Always great to have him back. Love that guy.
So curious if in the last episode
Yeah.
he will be on a jet ski.
I don't know.
Maybe an after credits scene.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, what is he going to do now that he's being transported back to TVA or wherever he's going?
Right.
You know, what's going to happen,
How
I
is he
think-
gonna burn it down?
I love when he said, I'm going to burn it down,
Burn it
because
down.
that's what Loki said in episode 1. And he's like, well, you can start with my desk. I want Mobius to go back and
Dude,
literally
burn
start
down.
with his desk.
His own desk. That'd be great. Oh, it's a nice callback, Trevor. Yeah. Oh, that's why he said thanks for the spark.
Yeah, thanks for the
Yeah.
spark.
His
Yeah.
idea. Ah, nice. That was really
Wow.
well done with writers there. I like that. I like stuff like that. It's fun. But I did want to talk about.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I really do want to talk about the music. I'm sorry, I keep
Mhm.
interjecting, but it's really important. Because I had to look up the name Natalie, I believe, is her name. So Natalie Holt is the musician who scored the series and this episode. And once again, it's like I feel like every time she outdoes herself every episode. I mean, it's just fantastic. That whole third act where old man diaper pants Loki is like building up Asgard is like just phenomenal, and using the Ride of the Valkyries to like lift up the whole score. Oh, chills. Just great.
Yes.
Good work all around on her part.
I mean, speaking of that whole old Loki sequence, for Sylvie and Loki to understand that they're more powerful than they give themselves credit for, that's hopefully going to play an impactful role, not just in this series.
Yes, so that would be nice going forward, which makes sense now too. Like thinking back to like Loki finding out that he had telekinesis. Like I wonder if he just kind of was developing that as he went along. You know, being put in this new situation and seeing a different Loki was kind of like going, "Hey, wait, maybe I do have more powers than I thought."
Mm-hmm. And also, that's quite a way to go out for old Loki.
Oh,
laughing in the face of danger. That
so good.
So, do you think he is dead? Old man Loki.
I don't know if you can die in the void.
I don't know if you can die in the void, but even if you can, do you think that he may have transfigured himself into something?
Could have.
Like a hat?
He's good at that, yeah.
Or debris? Because we do see debris at the end of the episode flying next to the castle.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's a big call out. Like it was prominent, and he said that he turned himself into debris to hide from Thanos.
Huh.
I don't know.
You think because they show his helmet with smoke on it? Do you think he could be just turned himself into his helmet?
That's what I'm thinking. Either that or the debris.
Wow.
That's true.
I know.
Yeah, because they never really showed how he broke off from Kid Loki and Alligator Loki. So I was wondering how that transitioned.
Right.
Him being by himself versus with them.
Yep.
True. I didn't think about that.
I don't know. Got to have Kid Loki stick around for Young Avengers, so we know he's going to be safe somewhere. Wherever that's going to be.
I also like the potential timeline that he comes from. What happens in the timeline where he kills Thor when they're little?
Yes. Yeah, did he use the whole like snake and knife thing that they talked about in Ragnarok or not?
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see.
Huh. Man, this is I see this is the type of episodes,
right?
They did, yeah.
A lot.
So these are the type of episodes that I love. Like this is where we're again almost jumping back to like a WandaVision where we got excited about things and got to look up things and it got us excited for more because now we've got all these extra storylines that now I want to go back. I want to now learn about each one of these Lokis. I want to know. It's so cool. I just
agreed.
The track record so far for Marvel is not too great when it comes down to the last episode. So I'm not too sure on how.
I'm a little worried. I'm
worried, dude.
Episode.
Because this
we'll
episode
see if they can
was so
stick
good.
the landing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Can they stick the landing? I don't know. I hope so. I really do.
One other point about Mobius, though, is he says that he never apprehended an alligator. Like, you know, he pretty much knows all these Lokis who are here. He's like, you throw a rock, you find a Loki. I'm familiar with all these Lokis, but I've never in my time seen an alligator Loki. So I think alligator Loki is somehow connected to Miss Minutes, and they're behind all of it.
Oh, you think he's in cahoots?
What a theory.
So my idea
is very suspicious.
Oh, she's very suspicious, obviously. She knows something. She's giving those shifty side eyes to Renslayer.
The live concerned reaction when she's going through the UI files.
Like,
because Loki asked, are you like a recording or are you live? And she's literally concerned about what's going to happen.
Why, are you going to kill me?
Miss Mouse is behind most everything.
Oh, yeah.
She's behind the black smoke monster.
I think so.
Maybe.
But I wondered about that line with Mobius, and if alligator Loki either didn't exist during one of his variants, because he's a variant of himself, he kept getting pruned probably, that he's never met this Loki, or if this Loki isn't really Loki at all, and everyone's just being fooled by this alligator that's running around pretending that got stuck here.
So this raises another question for myself, and I don't know if this is for anybody else, but okay, when people get pruned, they go to this place, this junkyard planet. Where's everybody else? Why is there only Lokis, except for Mobius? Mobius is the only non-Loki on this entire planet.
So they explain it throughout the entire episode, actually through the whole series, is that Lokis survive. That's what they are most known for.
Lokis survive, yeah.
No one else
Yeah,
does.
you know how that battleship comes in and those guys all get eaten or whatever?
Yep.
So that was one thing that I wanted to look up, was that battleship, and it made me think, is this the battleship about that urban legend where the battleship went into another dimension or something and came back and people were stuck in the walls?
I'm obsessed with that ship, and that's the ship.
Okay, what is the name of that ship, please?
The I almost said Ermagerd.
Gershburps.
I can't think of it live right now.
I put you on the spot, but yes, I know exactly, because I'm a big fan of urban legends, and right once I saw the battleship, I'm like, I know that. I know what that is, but I can't think of the name.
I'm bad with trivia on the spot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's also the juxtaposition of the pirate ship and the UFO crashed right next to
That was
each other.
fun, right?
Wow, what was that all about too?
Was it the pirate ship from Lost? Who knows?
Is it the Black Rock? Is Arnstein, did he get blown up again?
You got a little arts on you.
Got a little Arnstein there.
It is Disney.
Yeah, it could be Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
We got way off rails there for a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
I had a thought going at some point.
You were talking about music.
Well, music was away. Yeah, I just moved past that. That was the idea of Loki's surviving. See, that's the kind of the theme of this show is Loki's survive, but they don't. It's almost like they don't get to redeem themselves or be a part of or win. It's just they survive. It's kind of a sad existence. It's like as soon as they decide to make the right call or something, it's like they're pruned. Done.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, the battleship was a part of the Philadelphia experiment.
Right, but what's the name of the ship? It has a name. It's the.
Oh man!
Don't worry about it. He's gonna look it up anyway.
I'm gonna look it up anyways. It's the Eldridge.
Eldridge. I'm like
Eldridge.
for just something. Eldridge. Yeah. Anyways.
Which, by the way, for those who don't know anything about the Eldridge or Philadelphia experiment, please look it up. It is fascinating.
Oh, it is.
Actually, I'll give you a perfect podcast to listen to. It's called Stuff You Should Know. There is an episode all about the Philadelphia experiment, which got me excited and looking more up. So check it out. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Well, one part of that battleship is one of the crew members. He looks like the guy who's at the reception desk in the first episode.
Okay, that wasn't just me. I thought that was him. I thought that was Casey.
Yeah. I don't know if it purposely. I was like, would they have kept the camera on his face more if they purposely wanted us to know, right? Or were they just going to glance over it? I don't know.
It was a quick shot, so it's hard to tell. It went by so fast, but I'm gonna rewatch that episode and see.
It sure looked like him.
Did.
I rewatch it too.
Glad I wasn't the only one. I just kind of forgot about that.
They gotta find people to fill the TVA somewhere.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Maybe that ship just keeps falling through, over and over again. They keep burning them. That's
so, do you guys have any predictions about the finale?
I'm gonna go last on that one.
Not now.
What about Josh or Kelsey? Since you guys have been listening to our episodes, and what do you think?
And you've been watching the show.
I don't like to make predictions because I don't want to be disappointed.
And you listen to us? We're
like
disappointment weekly.
But I don't like to have expectations.
That's fine. I'll go. I'm kind of holding on to hope that somehow Loki's behind everything. I think I mentioned to you on the chat a while back that, with him, it makes sense in some way, but then seeing everything how this episode was, it kind of brought me back to think, oh, there's something bigger than that. I'm hoping for, maybe villains that have been killed off in previous movies, maybe to show up, or a new big bad leading into maybe another film will show up to rise up. But I'm going to hold on to that. Loki, at the end of the day, he's the one that orchestrated everything. Yeah, he's
it's interesting.
The god of mischief.
When Prague was talking about Loki's just now, I was thinking, why does Loki keep getting pruned right before he makes that good decision? Who has a motive to do that? And I'm like, well, Thor wouldn't really care. And who else is close to Loki? Loki is close to Loki.
Yes. Right.
Loki would be the one who would never let himself be redeemed.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be one
Maybe
it's kind of like Evil Morty.
Yeah.
I am flabbergasted by this.
He just hates all the other Mortys.
Yeah.
And he hates all the Ricks. He uses the Mortys. It fits the whole Rick and Morty theme of what Evil Morty's doing.
Yeah.
God.
Or also, old Loki. Alligator Loki is just a projection of old Loki. They're one and the same individual.
Okay.
Trevor really likes alligator Loki.
That's the Loki that's behind it all.
Trevor likes animals, period.
Animal is going to be my favorite character from everything, no matter what it is. Hedwig's my favorite character. It's just whatever it is.
Wow, I love
Heroes. I'm trying to remember names.
I love this prediction though.
Which one? From Heroes?
Heroes, wasn't it Mr. Bojangles? Wasn't that the dog's name?
The little dog.
Yeah.
The little dog.
He's just like your dog.
He's Mr. Something.
It's from Saturday Night Live where the two dogs marry each other.
That's Mr. Bojangles.
That's Mr. Bojangles, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
That was a Will Ferrell skit? Yeah. That's right.
Yes, it was. Anyway.
No. My hopes is that it's going to be Mephisto.
Confirmed.
Mephisto.
For sure.
Confirmed. Mephisto. He's in this episode. He's in the finale. Sorry, IMDb it.
All right.
Like, I guess the real question, though, before Prague goes with he read everything and knows exactly what's going to happen, is what if, do you think they're going to succeed or fail? Like, Sylvie and Loki are going in, they got past the black smoke monster. Are they going to succeed or fail?
I'm going to think both, in a way.
Both?
Because it's a timey-wimey show, so I think that they're going to both succeed and fail.
They're going to be stuck in a time loop.
Kind of.
And every time loop is going to be different every time, but no matter what, they keep having to replay the same thing, and they live the rest of their days in a time loop with each other. Oh.
Kind of like another show that Trevor and I like a lot.
Just say it. Just say it, dude.
Well, no, because then we'll ruin the show.
What if they get right to be able to solve everything, and then they start them all over again?
Could do that too.
Like it almost starts the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Not the Big Bang Theory with Sheldon and all them. That's not what we're talking about.
I know that you were annoyed when they went back to the Judge, Renslayer, and all that stuff, but we're going to have a sequence of Mobius doing something with the TVA.
Right. Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so are we going to figure out who's actually behind the timekeepers?
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to find out next episode for sure. I think it's the person in that castle. And that's what it's going to be. And I haven't even said my prediction yet.
Okay, fire away.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Here it comes.
Well, I'm sure I'm not alone on this theory, but I do think it is going to be Kang the Conqueror. That's my go-to. At this point, they've dropped every hint. It's not like red herrings like Mephisto was. I mean, they're legitimate. Like, they brought in everything from the Kang the Conqueror storylines. At this point, it would be weird if it wasn't him behind everything, especially leading up into his showdown in the new Ant-Man movie. I believe he's going to be in the Quantum of Solitude.
Quantum of Solace.
I know.
The James Bond.
The James Bond one.
Well,
so hold on. So I do think it's going to be him, but I do like, and I still like the theory that it is Old Man Loki. And it could be Old Man Loki and Kang the Conqueror working in cahoots together somehow, or maybe he pretended to be him. I don't know. But I do like the idea of that. But I also like the idea that at some point in time that maybe we haven't seen yet, our two Lokis have a baby. And maybe that baby really is the Nexus event. Or something bad happens. I don't know. But maybe whoever's behind the curtains like that can't happen. Knock it off.
Like the time traveler's wife?
Right.
Oh, that book
Wow.
just gets me every time.
Hmm.
I swear, there's a good couple chapters where I will just cry. So
Aw.
let's
Well,
get back to Kang the
I
Conqueror.
do feel like this is going to be, I feel like it could be a tragic ending, possibly. This could be the end of Tom Hiddleston as Loki in the MCU. Possibly.
I think it's going to be.
Yeah. I think he's finally going to get that redemption. And that's the tragedy, but they do win at the same time by him dying. I don't know.
I mean,
that's
I think
one of my
that
guesses.
could be it because I mean, is it a coincidence that today Marvel mentions that they're not going to tie down people to long-term contracts?
Ooh.
So could that just be the spoiler right there that this is it for him?
Could be.
So don't
Way to
expect
go,
him to come back.
Marvel. You ruined the show for us.
It's really good because they did a disservice to Loki's character. I don't know if they had the TV show planned when they killed him in Infinity War or not. I don't think they did just because Disney Plus wasn't even a thing.
Right. No, I think you're right. I think they did them a disservice. Especially now watching the show, I'm like, wow, this is a great character you could have had and used.
Oh yeah, they could have done so much with Loki instead of just being like Thor's heel the whole time.
Right.
Mhm.
Because like if you listen to classic Loki's story, like it's so sad. Like he basically becomes debris, hides out on this planet for God knows how long, hundreds of years probably. And then he misses his brother. Like that's why he's mischievous all the time. It's not just that he hates him. That's what brothers do. They like to, pick on each other and fight each other. It's, kind of a way of showing love and affection. And he misses that. He misses his home of Asgard. Like he loves Asgard. That's why he was able to project it so well, is because he loves his home, and he was adopted and he loves his home. Like that's powerful.
And it
We're
shows that
so
what
passionate.
if?
Yeah.
What if he doesn't get killed in Infinity War? Like they knew, and What If show is coming on August 11th, but they did it right within the context of this show.
So that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking the entire time during this episode is whenever they went to this dumpster planet, I'm like, this is... Sorry, go ahead.
It's not a planet. That's okay.
Whatever it is.
It is a void.
It is a void. When we went there, it felt like, oh man, you threw me off with the whole planet thing. I had something going on, and then you said planet. It's not
It
a
got
planet.
pruned. That thought got pruned.
Goodness gracious, bodacious.
I feel
Anyways,
like the planet on
whatever.
Ragnarok, the trash planet from Ragnarok. Is that what
It
it is?
is
no.
like the trash planet in Ragnarok.
Well, no. So what I was thinking is that this was pretty much a perfect what if episode. I mean, that show is coming, and this episode really made me look at, oh wow, what if? Like that's pretty cool.
It's one of our best podcasts. We might
It
have to do a
is.
sequel tied into
Yeah.
this Marvel
Ooh.
show.
Ooh.
I like it. Like take
What
all
if-
the what ifs of this one. Yeah, I like
If
it.
Loki
All right.
never dies at the end.
All right.
Hmm.
Food for thought. We're coming up on an hour. Any other fun things you noticed in the episode? Because I have a couple that I might throw out
Well,
there.
Prague, tell me more about these Kang the Conqueror hints that they have dropped, since I have
Okay.
not seen a single hint in the
So-
show.
Kang the Conqueror has his city where he collects all the things through time, like all the places in time that he's conquered, like the Sphinxes of Egypt that were in the show, and different vessels and stuff.
Oh, I
from
thought that was
different
just Sphinx with
timelines.
the whole nose. Okay.
Right. Well, that's the funny thing, right? That's the whole nose versus the off nose. But he collects that. Like that's in his bubble. Like all these different places. And the seventh wonder of the world. I forget which one it is. The lighthouse one that they kind of zoom past in the beginning is one of them. The name of his company is the name on Avengers Tower, just like in the comics, where he takes over Stark Industries. So that's a pretty big hint. And then probably the two biggest ones. is that Ravonna Renslayer is in the show. She's one of the main characters, and that's his love interest. Like, they love each other. That's their thing. And the monster guarding him is the monster that he uses to guard his realm, his part of time. That used to be his mortal enemy. So it'd be a lot to like not have him be Kang the Conqueror at this point.
What if
It'd be
they
like
just do
a
that
disappointment.
just to prepare you for Ant-Man and that's it? And never show him.
It could be that could be a possibility. That's why I think it might be Loki the whole time, and then maybe Kang was like trapped or part of it or something, or like, hey, let me use you or something. Like, oh, you're fun to play with as a toy in my, destruction of time. Let's do this. So it could be in cahoots. It could be a setup for Ant-Man. For sure.
Do you think the new Ant-Man's going to be more serious then?
Probably
I
not.
hope so. I kind of hope so. I feel like they're too
That's
too
the
much
problem
of a
with the
cartoon.
TV show, though. If you go and say, "Oh, this was just an appetizer," Ant-Man and Loki aren't exactly on the same tier of the cosmic scale of influence.
Agreed.
Yep.
It's
So who
true.
knows?
It's kind of
I don't know.
dismissal of Loki unnecessarily.
We'll
Yeah.
see. See how it plays out.
Well,
We'll give it that.
I'm still
Yeah.
reeling on the Loki pretty much ruling this whole area. I love that thought.
It's a great idea.
It is
What
a good
if-
idea.
What if they had a baby and they can't have a baby?
Oh, wow. Tragedy.
What if the baby actually does get formed and it's horribly horrible and it's trying to prune the timeline and make sure it never happens?
Wow.
What if
Oh.
alligator Loki ate the baby and took his horn?
Oh my.
The dingo
Spoiler.
ate the baby. That's hilarious.
Wow.
He took his
That's it
horn.
right there.
That's my soul.
That's why they're small horns.
Kelsey, tells gold.
So it's actually just an alligator. Like, it's not actually a Loki alligator. It's just
Just a
an
regular
alligator who
alligator.
just so happened to eat.
He's just like, and like, I'm just an alligator. Can't understand what any of you guys are saying.
He's just an alligator. That's it. And old man Loki's making everything up every time that
Yeah.
he grunts.
He spends a lot of time alone.
Anything else? Anything
Oh,
to
no,
add?
good on this
There-
one.
Yeah.
Sounds
Well,
good. Cool.
good.
So everybody, send us in your predictions of what's going to happen in episode 6. You can leave a voicemail. You can reach out to us at Secondary Heroes on all forms of social media. Until next week in the finale, this is Joe Trevor, and we'll talk to you next time.
I'll see you later. Oh, I blew it. I was gonna say I'll
That is an
see you
outro.
later, Loki alligator. Oh, I got
Is that it? Are you good now?
botched it. Prune me.
Adios, y'all.
See ya.
Thank you.